Welcome into KC Sports Tonight, Tuesday, July 14th. Day one of the World Cup Semifinals has officially wrapped up with France taking on Spain, Spain taking down France 2-0, which, Marlia, did you see that coming?
No.
No.
I really did think it was going to be France going into the final. I was predicting France, England.
I was going to say,
That's going to be, I'm so excited about tomorrow's match, and I know we're going to talk about that in a minute, but I may have some recency bias. You might see my script here. I was at England training this morning. But no, certainly with Mbappe and everything that he's done and the run that France has had, certainly, one, I did think it was going to be France. Two, I thought it was going to be closer. I thought we were going to have a little bit of a thriller, but man, shaping up to be an exciting final. I cannot get over how excited I am for tomorrow's match. Two teams that we have followed really closely here in Kansas City, both base camping here and now heading to Atlanta.
Yeah, I think everyone in the planet, on the planet, I should say, other than maybe fans of Spain, thought that France was going to take them down and eventually make it to the final. They've been, the number one team in the world, other than Argentina, going into the World Cup. And then eventually, as they put together such a dominant run throughout the World Cup, they overtook Argentina in those FIFA rankings as number one. So they became the favorite. I know we've talked to Roger Espinosa a lot, and he has said many times he believes France is the best team in the world and they are going to win the World Cup. So it was very surprising. I thought they would at least score one goal. Couldn't even do that. And yeah, Spain wins it on a PK and then a second half goal. And now they're going to take on the winner of Argentina and England, which is what everyone here in KC, like you said, really cares about, because they're two teams that we've grown very fond of. They chose to base camp here in Kansas City, especially Argentina with the number one pick of base camps overall as the reigning champions. But you've been at England's media center and Swope Soccer Village and stuff the last few days. What have the Three Lions been saying?
Yeah, it's they had a media availability yesterday, so like a press conference. And then they did a training today, an open training, kind of a practice. Lots of interesting kind of tidbits to come out of both of those. One, I think the most surprising, I'm going to backtrack. One of my favorite things about the World Cup, and specifically about covering 6 matches in Kansas City, has been it feels like doing a little book report about each team, and the match heading into it. I didn't know anything about Ghana soccer heading into the Ghana match, right?
Later.
Yeah. And
lastly.
It's doing a little bit of research and then sharing that with Kansas City. Here's what we know about both teams. I didn't have much knowledge on the history of Argentina and England soccer prior to the last couple of days. Somehow, in Lionel Messi's unbelievable tenured career, he has never played against England.
Yeah.
Which had to double check that a bunch. Thought that was surprising given just all the world stages that he's played on over the course of his tenured career now. So that's a really cool one. We were talking to goalie Jordan Pickford yesterday, and he said everybody knows how good Messi is, but Argentina as a whole is really talented. So that's something that they are paying attention to, which is obvious, but I think a lot of the spotlight is obviously always on Messi. Be interesting to see. Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham have each scored 6 goals, which independent, one of those 6 goals is the record for goals scored by an English player in a World Cup. They have 2 players that have done that this year. England has given up. I talked about Pickford only given up 6 goals over the course of the tournament. So kind of a something's got to give situation. We've talked about this, but Argentina has had an interesting knockout round path. They really struggled against Cabo Verde. It looked like they were going to get upset. They ended up winning in overtime. You come back and play Egypt in the round of 16 and trail 2-0 into the 79th minute. I was off work at home watching it. So I was 2-0 in the 79th minute and went outside. And I came back inside and I'm like, whoa.
I actually was at work that day, and I got into the sports office in the 80th minute, or the minute before Argentina scored their first goal of that game. And I just walked in and I saw the score was 2-0, and I was like, oh, never mind. And then
over.
Keep watching all the goals. I'm like, oh, no, okay. It's fine.
So you have Cabo Verde, you have Egypt, and then, yes, Switzerland is better than both of those teams, but obviously that went into extra time as well. So it's been a grueling knockout round stage for Argentina. Yeah. England also had a difficult path, obviously, most recently taking down Norway in extra time, but I'm just very excited for this. There is a lot of history, again, that we've learned about. I think it was 86 was the hand of God goal that a lot of folks talk about. 98 was the David Beckham red card when England went on to lose in shootout goals in the knockout round. So lots of interesting history, but not a lot of recent matches to compare to. Last time these two teams faced off in the World Cup was in 2002. So should be a lot of fun. And I think for Kansas City folks, like, we've been talking this week about how the World Cup is over in Kansas City, but it kind of doesn't feel like it because we've had, the Argentina fan base and the English national team obviously base camping here. And the cool thing is Kansas City will have one team in the World Cup final.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've grown kind of like attached to these teams almost, and it's like sad that they have to face each other in the semis. Like, imagine if they could have faced each other in the final. Like that I think would be something a little bit different. But yes, we've grown fond of them, and I too learned this week about all the history between them, and that's because, like you said, the last time they played was 24 years ago. I was 2 years old, so like I haven't been alive for any of, the David Beckham red card and the hand of God goal and like all that stuff. So learning about it this week, it started in about 1966 when the England head coach called it was such a physical match. This was before red and yellow cards were an official thing in the World Cup. England's head coach said the Argentinians were animals. They were playing so physically with each other. He didn't want to trade shirts. Back then they were shirts, not jerseys, at the end of the match. And it really started there, and then it kind of just kept escalating. But we weren't alive for most of those. So that's been fun because I feel like for the most of this World Cup, we didn't really look at the possibility of these two playing each other in the semifinals. And now that they have, we're like, oh, there's actually all this stuff to talk about with it.
You think about, too, like, England, to me, again, I think recency bias, you're like, yeah, of course, they're one of the bigger nations. They've made it to this point before. They've only made one World Cup final, and that was in 1960, which is the same year they won their sole title. So Argentina is looking to become the third team to ever repeat as champs, the first in 64 years. So either we get Argentina one step closer to doing what only two teams have done in history, the last being Brazil in the 60s, or England makes their first World Cup final in 60, whatever.
It's cool either way.
66 years.
66.
Saw that math in real time.
That's why we're journalists. We don't do math.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so we're going to see something really, really cool tomorrow and historic.
I'm excited for it. And I think the unique thing about these two teams is that they are both very experienced. And that's, I think, something that has gotten Argentina through their tough matches, because it's kind of similar to like how we talk about it with the Chiefs. Like, when you're a top team in your league or the world or your profession or whatever, you're going to get everybody's best shot. Like, there's just something in a competitor that makes them fight a little harder when they're playing someone that they really, really want to knock off. And that's, I think, just the case of what we saw with Cabo Verde and Egypt. And I think England has faced harder teams, like going into Estadio Azteca and beating Mexico on their best World Cup run in ever.
Yeah.
Like, that's no joke. Especially with the Mexico fans keeping them awake the night before, which was so fun to learn more about. I talked to all the Mexico fans at P&L, and they were like, that's just something we do in our national league. Like, all the fans, like, it's like NFL. Like, if the Bears are in town and the Chiefs fans go to the Chicago Bears hotel the night before and keep them up, like, it's that equivalent. So that was kind of a fun thing. And yeah, England's more battle tested at this point, but Argentina has that experience of being there that none of these England players have.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting, and I'm very excited.
I'll share one more thing from England training that I'm really excited about. I'll share two things. I talked to England's press officer, which is their like media contact. And first of all, they could not stop raving about how much they love Kansas City here. They said the people are so nice.
Have you seen the TikToks of them like seeing kids and families at Betty Ray's ice cream?
Yeah,
it's so cute.
They've been like riding bikes around. They're in Prairie Village.
When in Prairie Village.
Yeah, so fun that like it genuinely feels like they're embracing it, which is, being from Kansas City, pretty cool. Two, they are coming back. Win or lose, they're going to come back to Kansas City. Either if England wins to train for the final, they'll have a training that media can access on Friday. lose to pack up and go back to England. But you are not seeing your last of England and Kansas City.
No, the British are coming back.
The British are
coming back. So yeah, that is at 2:00 tomorrow. We've got a whole day of coverage. There are watch parties happening all over KC, which is why we say even though the World Cup is technically over in Kansas City, it's kind of not, because we still have these two teams that our city cares so much about now, and one of them's going to be in the final, and I'm sure that's going to be a whole shebang on Sunday, so it'll be exciting. Okay, from the World Cup to the All-Star game, which is tonight. Bobby Witt Jr. selected for the first time ever as the starting shortstop for the American League tonight. It's his third consecutive appearance at the All-Star game. And then Michael Wacha is making his return to the All-Star game after 11 years since his last selection. At 35 years old, he's been the Royals' best pitcher this season with the 3.77 ERA, almost 100 strikeouts. Thank you, Michael Wacha, for sparing us from maybe a few more losses. But yeah, it's going to be fun seeing the Royals have something positive to talk about and focus on amidst a first half that was given them the worst record in baseball.
Yikes. Yeah. I went to the clubhouse on Sunday. Time blurs together during the World Cup, but I think it was this last Sunday. Yeah, it was this last Sunday. And there was like a glimmer of hope. One, there was a Hall of Fame induction that day, and then two, the All-Star announcements had just come. But otherwise, it is a brutal time to be a Royals player. Worst record in baseball. Not a lot going right for you this season. But Bobby Witt Jr., obviously a bright spot on what has been a dismal year for the boys in blue. Yeah. Getting his first start is cool. Third straight All-Star game. Dominated the fan vote this year, which will be really fun to watch him in that spotlight. And then Michael Wacha to make it back after 11 years. The Royals did some research, and they could only find 3 players that ever went that amount of time in between All-Star appearances. Which I think shows a couple things. One, the just tenure of his career. I mean, being the best at what you do 11 years after your first All-Star selection is crazy.
Still
I think
going.
To like me physically 11 years ago. Like, can you imagine doing some of the same thing? So really cool that he's been able to do that. And two, to go, get your All-Star nod, and then for whatever 10 seasons or 9 seasons. Year after year, not making it back and being like, oh man, was that my one chance? And then to get the nod and the call that he's going back. So cool for him and for his family. So it should be fun to watch tonight. Obviously, we're going to talk about Jac Caglianone a little bit, but some little things to hold on to if you're a Royals fan.
And thank God the fan, it would have been very easy, I think, for Royals fans to kind of just not care about voting Bobby in for the All-Star.
That's cool. Yeah.
And even despite all that, they were like, we need to show Bobby why he needs to stay in Kansas City, because there will come a point in his contract where he doesn't have to anymore. So yeah, that's one good sign. Good job, Royals fans, voting Bobby in to start. And you mentioned Jac Caglianone. Bobby was there supporting him as his personal hype man last night in the home run derby. Not Cag's best showing that he could have had. He was eliminated after the first round, but he wasn't in last place. There was one guy with one less home run than him. He totaled 8 in the first round, but it was the quality of his home runs that made him a star on the night almost. If you guys didn't watch our highlights at 10 last night, or just see them online because they were kind of all over the place, he hit them to the third deck, no problem, 3 in a row. So he was slow to start, missed quite a few, but eventually kind of got into a swing of things. And at one point, one of the announcers was like, oh my God, he's hitting nukes. And the other guy was like, he has to go to the next level or the next round. He didn't. But the quality still was very impressive by Cags. Showcased that power that we see sometimes, and it was cool that he got to do it on the national stage.
Well, and cool for a guy. I'd have to look up the exact day. I think it was around this time he got called up last year. He hasn't even completed a full season.
It was early June, and I know that because it was one of my last days at my old station in Topeka because I covered the game.
I remember I was alone here, and it was right before a show. The news broke so late in the day. It was 9 o'clock or something. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to change my entire show.
Dang it.
Yeah, I couldn't have done it earlier in the day, Royals. But yeah, so it's been a little over a year since he's been called up, hasn't even completed a full season yet. He's 23 years old. which I feel like I forget with some of these like younger guys.
He also just is so huge as a person. He looks like he's 30. So
like, I would guess 6'6" from seeing him.
He wears a size 17 shoe.
Yeah, just a big dude. But,
yeah.
Cool for him to be able to have this experience. And I remember I interviewed him early in the season. I asked him a question, and he kind of laughed and was like, "I'm just a rookie. I don't know." Like, he got kind of nervous.
Don't ask me things.
Yeah, which is funny.
I don't know what to say.
Just cool to see a guy who. There was also a story earlier this year where like he brought all of the field workers like coffees.
Donuts.
Do you remember that? Yeah.
It was the night after, or it was the day after the crazy rain game.
Yes.
That the Royals hit a crazy amount of hits, crazy amount of runs. So the game kept going to all hours of the night, and the field crew was putting in some crazy work making sure the field was still playable. So he bought them all donuts.
Yeah.
On his rookie salary.
I've been in an elevator where he was holding like one of those Starbucks things that has like 4 coffees in it. So anyway, just seems like a fun, good dude, and happy for him to have that experience, and who knows, maybe not his last one.
Yeah, and his dad was pitching to him, so that was cute.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, before we go, we are starting to gain some excitement for Chiefs training camp around here, which starts in, for media, less than 2 weeks, but for the public, about 2 weeks and a day, I believe. Mm-hmm. So, believe it or not, we literally just go right from the World Cup into Chiefs training camp, and then we talk all about that.
And I'm like,
give me a break. Give me time off. But it's going to be a different training camp than we've covered in a long time, because this is the first training camp where they did not make it to the AFC Championship in the last 10 years?
And the first training camp where...
9 years. 9 years.
Yeah.
8 years.
First training camp where Mahomes isn't presumably... Heck, we don't know.
We don't know.
There's just so many... I feel like I love training camp. It is one of my favorite things. It's like one of my favorite points in the year because usually you're doing nothing really in the month of June. The Royals aren't very good. You're looking for kind of content for our shows. And then training camp happens and it kind of kicks off. Like, training camp is here. Preseason games are here. We breathe for 1 second and then we're into college football and the Chiefs season. Like, as a sports reporter, this is like the most fun time. I put an asterisk because this year we've been very busy with the World Cup. Still so fun. But yeah, we're turning right back around to training camp.
We didn't have our boring time.
Yes. Our PTO time.
Our PTO time.
What's her name?
Where's my PTO time?
This year it's a little... So anyway, in years past, it's always been like the storyline of camp is like the left tackle battle for first and second string, or things that like maybe the average fan isn't super interested. But this year, all eyes are on Patrick Mahomes and where he's at. I know we last saw him at mandatory minicamp where he was moving seemingly well.
Yeah.
Granted, it's a no contact time.
He's got a heck of a bionic brace on his leg.
There's a big difference between throwing a football at mandatory minicamp and getting sacked by a 300-pound lineman. In week 1. However, Katie, I know you've been around it. I've been around it. Doing that even after 5.5 months to the day after tearing your ACL is truly unfathomable. So you don't want to read into it too much, but you also want to give the credit that it is, which it is unbelievable that he's doing what he's doing at this point in his recovery process. So be interested to see what his role looks like in training camp. Again, quarterbacks wear the yellow jerseys. They don't get hit. So I'm also curious what that looks like come preseason game. Like, is he going to get any reps? Is he even going to be ready? If he is, would you risk it? So there's a lot to talk about in that realm. And yes, we will get a lot of Justin Fields time in St. Joe.
I don't want to see Patrick Mahomes touch the field in a preseason game, personally.
Yeah.
And I feel like...
always feel that way. And Reed plays his... It seems to me like it's been less and less over the years, but he always gives those guys like a quarter. He says it's going to be a quarter, and then he gives them like
two drives. Not even.
So I think you're right. I doubt we see that this year. But but on another note, do you really want his first snap against another team being week 1 against
the Broncos?
I don't know. Yeah. So lots to talk about.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to play out. I feel like you and I, like you were saying, like we both have like, done the surgery thing and done intense injury things, and like, so I feel like we are almost like, oh my God, I can't imagine a 300-pound lineman coming at me right now.
Don't look at me nonetheless. Getting hit. So,
don't touch my knee ever.
It's gonna be it's gonna be interesting. The other storyline that I'm following in camp, I think, is gonna be Kenneth Walker. I mean, that's really interesting to see. Granted, I will say this: there's every year like last year, the big storyline was like, it's the return of the deep ball. We're gonna get the deep ball back, and like things are different when you again are in live contact and in real games. I'm saying matches now. Fun.
Look at us.
During the World Cup, I was like, do not say games. Do not.
Roger Espinosa would be so proud right now.
And now I'm flipping. Got to get back into football mode.
Football
mode.
Football mode.
But it was certainly, Kenneth Walker opens up something that the Chiefs haven't had recently, which is a run game.
Yes.
And by, I guess, proxy opening up the pass game more too by creating a dual threat.
Yeah.
That certainly Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco didn't deliver last year.
No. I'm very excited to have, I feel like last year in camp, there were really 3 storylines that we kind of just went over and over, and it was left tackle, deep ball, coming back from a Super Bowl loss. And it was
Thornton.
Just
he was my darling of training
over
camp.
and over. And now it's at least more interesting because we have so many new guys that we get to know and we get to tell their stories. And I'm excited about Kenneth Walker.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm excited about the first round guys, and EB coming back, and just another storyline in general of coming back from not making the playoffs for the first time since 2014. So I think this training camp will be better.
Married man in St. Joe.
Kelsey,
I cannot imagine what that flip has to be like for him.
I'm so excited to see the signs. They're last year training camp really delivered with all the little girls and their signs about Taylor and Travis. So that's gonna be cute seeing what they can come up with this year.
I guess I'll say too, I think I always say this at training camp, but if you're watching this and you haven't been to training camp before, drive up to training camp for a day. It's cool. A lot of days are free. Some of the days are paid. I know we have that up on our website. It's on the Chiefs website too. It's $7 or something, but there are free days. There's Family Fun Day where there's a bunch of activities, but Chiefs games are very expensive. Training camp gives you an opportunity to get a peek behind the curtain. They do autograph days with players, so
and get closer than you ever would at a game.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a cool opportunity if you're a Chiefs fan. And practices are 100%, I should say 99% closed during the season. So this is kind of your opportunity to see what it looks like behind the scenes a little bit.
Yeah, and it all starts in less than 2 weeks. We are excited. All right, that's gonna do it for us on KC Sports tonight. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you right back here at 5:30 tomorrow.